Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Monday Mailbag, where we at Oilers Nation take 5 submitted fan questions and we answer them for you. In this video, I'm going to answer 3 of them. And if you want to see the other 2 questions, you can go to OilersNation.com to find them. The first question comes in from Cliff. He says, do the Oilers need to play more physical to win in the playoffs? Well, I don't think the Oilers need to necessarily be more physical. Of course, Zach Hyman led the playoffs in hits until he got injured, and I think overall, the team was pretty strong in that department. You look, they had fights from Trent Frederick down on this. They might have been the only team to have 2 fights in the playoffs, to be honest. Maybe Florida tied them. Off the top of my head, I'm not 100% sure, but I think they'll be okay in that way. But in terms of physicality, aside from hitting and fighting, I think what we saw in the playoffs was they weren't getting to the middle of the ice enough, especially against the Florida Panthers in those last couple of games. If they're able to drive the net a little bit more, I would say they might have had a better chance to win those games, but they weren't getting to the scoring areas. So to twist your question a little bit, Cliff, I think the Oilers need to be more physical in the way they're scoring goals rather than making hits, fighting people, and all that stuff. Second question comes in from Brandon. They ask, what's your boldest prediction for the 2025-26 season? It's kind of hard to do bold predictions for the Oilers because most of them do pretty well throughout the year. But my boldest one, I will say, I think Matthew Savoie will touch 30 goals. I think it's going to maybe come in around 26, but there'll be a conversation coming up this season about Matthew Savoie and where he's heading towards by the end of the year. I think he's a fantastic player. I think Oilers fans are going to grow to love his work ethic, and he'll become a real big fan favorite, especially being a local guy too. I know Stuart Skinner is a bit controversial, but everyone has that soft spot for the fact he's from Edmonton. I think everyone roots for him just that little bit more, and I think Matthew Savoie will be very similar to that as well. So my bold prediction for the 2026 Edmonton Oilers season is that Matthew Savoie will flirt with 30 goals on the year. Final question comes in from Andy. They ask, are there any remaining free agents you would like to see the Oilers kick tires on or at least invite to camp on a PTO? There's a couple I like. I made a video about this a couple of weeks ago too. The number one guy for me would be Brett Leeson, 26-year-old, around 6'5", played for Washington and the Anaheim Ducks in his career so far. Only 4 seasons under his belt. Didn't have a great year offensively in Anaheim, but he brings a bit of physicality to the team. He would have finished around 4th or 5th on the Oilers last season in hits. And we had an earlier question, obviously, in the video from Cliff talking about the Oilers' physicality. That would help that question a little bit. And I think Leeson needs a bit of a positive place to play, you could say. Anaheim, a tough place the last few years. And I think on a PTO, he'd be a pretty decent option for them to be competition with Tomasek and also Kasperi Kapanen. Also, too, Leeson has been linked with a KHL move, but at 26 years old, does he really want to move to the KHL and basically put an end to his NHL career? I would think no, so he would be number 1 for me as a potential PTO option for the Oilers. There you go. Those are the 3 questions we'll be answering today. Again, you can read the mailbag over at OilersNation.com. If you have any questions you want to submit, you can send them over to Bagmilk's email, which is bagmilk@bettercollective.com.